What's up, everybody? Doing some more Blender animation. So if you saw my last video, you remember the follow me wave animation that I made. And again, I'm only putting this up there to help people who come after me in trying to learn Blender animation. At this point, I have like 10 hours of experience with Blender. Maybe half of those dealing with animation, the other half messing around with making meshes, making objects. And if you're not sure why they call, so this person is a mesh, and this, all of these inside, this is the armature. These are bones of the armature. But that's why they call it a mesh. If you hit the Z key, and let me turn on I don't want to do that. Let me turn on screencasting if I can. You know how to use Blender at this point. Z gives you the mesh. This is why they call it a mesh, because it looks like a wire mesh cage. This is the geometry. All of these intersections are vertices. This is how Blender knows what the object looks like. This is how all these vertices are related to each other. So that's why they call it a mesh. So today we're going to be taking this animation. Maybe you have one if you followed along. I did record the entire posing of this animation, but we are going to be using this to open a door. So we're going to need finger bones so that we can grab the doorknob. So you can see I have my hand bone more or less comes down to the knuckle of the middle finger. So what I'm going to do is duplicate this bone. So it is parented. I need to go to edit mode. So I'm going to duplicate this bone. So it's parented to that bone. Right there. If you're not familiar, the number pad gives you the orthographic view that is exactly 90-degree views. So if you hit 1, that gives you the front view, 3 gives you the left side view. So we can see the chest here and the back there. And then 7 gives you the top view. If you hit 9 on the numpad, you get the opposite view. So now we're looking up from the bottom. So if I hit 3, that's the left side. If I hit 9, that gives me the right side. Again, you can see the chest and back have flipped. So then I can hit 9 and it will take me back to the left side. Same thing, 1 for front, 9 for back, 9 again to go back to the front. So that's what we're using generally to line everything up, is the orthographic view, because that gives us exact centers. So if I center it up at the front and then I go to the side view and center it up along the side, it will be centered. You know, and everything doesn't have to be exactly centered, just for reference. So 1, oops, hit 1, make sure I'm in the finger, give it a rotation, and maybe just slide it over just a hair. Go to side view. I know I'm looking at the right side, so I want to be looking at the left side. Give it a rotation along the x-axis, line it up, and then scale it down. Since this is only one part of 3, well, this mesh only, yeah, it does have a third section. Okay, so that's one of 3 bones. And you can see I duplicated it, so this dotted line means it's already parented to here. It's already parented to this hand bone, so if I move the hand in pose mode, it does not move with it. So let's try this. It's Alt P to clear. No. Why won't it let me clear parent? Why am I working in the mesh? Should be. Let's try this again. Okay, clear parent. Then we're going to select this and Control P. Oops. Control P. Keep offset. Then we go to pose mode. Going to try this again. There we go. So now you can see it moves the bone with it, but since I have not parented this bone to the mesh, it won't move the finger. So I can still move the whole hand like this, and I can still move this, and my finger bone moves with the hand bone, but I have not given any weight to this bone to the mesh. So that's something else we're going to have to do. I'll probably unparent the mesh. Since I'm using automatic weights anyway, I'll unparent the mesh from the armature. And then I will what the fuck is going on? Oh, that's why. So I will unparent the mesh from the armature, and then we'll have to clear all the vertex groups so that when we reparent it to include our finger bones, the weights won't be all wonky. So we're just going to add 3 more. So we're going to extrude this. 3, 9, E, Z to extrude straight down. I'm pretty sure that's the next bend. 1 to look at the front. And we'll give it a little rotation along the y-axis. And you can see we kind of overshot the joint there. So G, then I'm going to shift Y so that it does not move along the y-axis, and move it up and along the x-axis to get it up to that joint. 3 for left side view, 9 to look at this view. Go back to the front, extrude down towards the tip. A rule that I came across in my research, when you have joints, keep the pivot points close to the edge of the mesh. It's just again a tip that I ran across. So you can see I'm actually looking at the forefinger and doing this. So we're going to rotate this along the y-axis. And it's not rotating for some reason. And I'm going to grab this point, put it there. Looks pretty good. So I'm just going to move this a little bit closer to the edge. And there we have our middle finger. And you can see I basically have a straight shot. So hopefully the weight painting will work well. Move this a little closer to the knuckle. So it should give more weight on the finger to this bone than the hand bone. So hopefully it will pivot at this knuckle line. Take a drink of coffee. Alrighty. So now going to duplicate these bones. 3, not 1, 3, 9. Shift D. I'm going to slide them right on over here. So that should be pretty good as far as center, front to back. Actually looks pretty good. Let me do a pan around. Yep, looks pretty good. So we're going to do the same thing. Select these 3 bones, Shift D to duplicate, move bone there. Going to grab that and just move it back this way towards the center of the finger. Same thing with this one. Something like that. Go to front view, go to back view, and it's gonna be weird. Now we're going to, we don't want it to go along the x-axis, the y-axis. So we're going to G, Shift Y, go a little closer to the knuckle thing, and bring this Shift Y up a little closer to the end of the finger. Do another pan around. Wish I could see the finger right there. Looks pretty good. I'm just going to move this like this and like that. Alright, since the pinky is even smaller than this, let's just select these bones, Shift D, bring it right to the knuckle. If I wanted to, I could probably actually bring it up into this crease where the knuckle would really be, but we are not going to worry about that this time. Move this up, move that one up, and move that up, do a pan, bring it up into the finger. Move it to the center. That looks pretty good. So now we have that. So now we are going to hit B for box select and select every bone in the hand, all of our finger bones. Try that again. B for box. There we go. Then we're going to go set our pivot point to our 3D cursor. Make sure that our 3D cursor, no, not scale. Shift S to bring snap. So we're going to snap our cursor, which is the 3D cursor, to the center. Our pivot point, 3D cursor. We're going to hit Shift D to duplicate this hand, S to scale, X to scale it along the x-axis, -1. So it's scaling Let me go ahead and set that. But we want to clear the parent. Since we duplicated these finger bones, it's parented to this hand. So let's actually see what that looks like real quick. So if we move this hand, see it has our fingers in the default edit position, which is out here to the side. Actually, it does not have them there. Let's go back to edit mode. So it's got some weird stuff going on. But basically what we did, we duplicated these finger bones. And then we scaled their position along the x-axis -1, so it turned them around and moved them the same distance from the z-axis. This blue line right here is the z-axis. This is our up and down dimension, or vertical dimension. And then we have left to right, so we scaled them left to right across the up and down axis to face the opposite direction. So again, I'll undo that so we can see it again. So I have all of these finger bones, whoa, except for that one. God damn it, god damn it. There we go. Alright, so I have all of the finger bones. I'm glad I am doing this again. All the finger bones selected. Our pivot point is the 3D cursor. And we hit Shift S to snap the 3D cursor to the center of the grid, which is where all three axes meet. So we'll just hit 1 for front view, Shift D to duplicate, S to scale, x-axis, -1, enter. So now we have finger bones in both hands, but you can see they're parented together, which would be parented ultimately to this hand bone. So we're going to hit B for box and select all of these. And box mode is weird. B for box. Try to get all of the finger bones, but I didn't want this. So Shift to clear that. So I have all of these fingers selected. And it looks like there might be another hand bone there. I'll check that in a sec. But we're going to clear the parent on these fingers. Why? Why? They don't have any relationship lines, so if I could. Alright. Nope. Okie dokie. So that takes care of that. So we're going to select all, A, so now we know we have nothing else selected. B for box. Get all of our fingers. Why does it miss things? So now we want to parent to this left hand. Control P. Keep offset. Now we're parented. So now, oh, you know what I didn't do? Thumbs. And actually I think I messed up on this hand. Because now all of the bones. So let's do this. Deselect. Select this. Unselect that. these, parent to that. Alright. Let's do the same thing here. What in the world is going on? Why is it keeping... Why did it keep that? What the fuck, man? Oh, let's try this again. Alright. Control P, connected. There we go. Let's try this again. Alt P. Now just select this bone. Clear. Why isn't it clearing the parent? Why isn't it clearing the parent? What the hell? Alright, now make that its parent. They are connected. And then I will select this one, and then this one, and then they are connected. Oh, look out. And then I need to fix this. So go to clear that parent. Clear that parent. Alright. So that should take care of that. So now, we'll go to object mode. I'm going to select the mesh, clear parent, then we're going to select the armature, and we're going to set parent to armature deform with automatic weights. So now we have that. So let's go to pose mode. Let's see what we got. Alright, our pivot point is still our cursor, so let's not have that. So now our pivot point is the origin of the bone, and we have deformation. Ultimate deformation. Now we can do all kinds of junk, because we got fingers. Oh, but you know what I forgot? Thumbs. So we don't have opposable thumbs, but we can still grab a doorknob. Alright, so that was actually a pretty good quick view on setting up an armature and parenting it to your mesh. One thing I did not do, which I will do in the next, at the beginning of the next section, is I will re-clear the parent. I'm going to re-parent the mesh to the armature, making sure first, after I make my thumb bones, that I clear all the vertex groups for the weight painting. So we'll see that in the next video.